welcome to Nephew and Uncle Basketball Banter. Uncle Dave, let's just jump right in the deep end here with some of this NBA trade deadline stuff here. We'll
Yes,
start
sir.
with the big and obvious one here. James Harden being traded for Darius Garland, and the Cleveland Cavaliers obviously feel like they had to make a big splash here, and they're putting all their chips into the front of the table here and saying, hey, ride or die. Long term, this is obviously a terrible move, so this is for the here and the now. And if this doesn't come up with the championship, obviously it's a major blunder because you're giving up a player in his prime right now, Darius Garland, who's definitely going to be quite a force for hopefully a lot longer, but he's definitely an excellent player. So to part with him is definitely a risky move and a gamble.
Yeah, I don't know why you would go with a guy that is screwed over this coach before in New Jersey with the Nets. Many people already forgot that. The other part is this is a guy who's had notorious playoff flops. No doubt he is one of the five best one-on-one players you've seen in the last 20 years. There's no doubt about that. But not every night is he motivated to do that. He's out of shape. And like I just said, he's screwed over this coach before. You gave up Darius Garland, who is a point guard. James is not really a point guard. So now you have him and Mitchell, and it sounds good on paper, but games aren't played on paper. It sounds like a great fantasy team,
Right.
but basketball is not played on fantasy. Um, you know, it's just a situation where it's almost like saying, well, if the Cavs don't get it done, Coach Atkinson's gone. That's what this means to me.
Well, that's the thing. Do you side with James Harden or do you side with Kenny Atkinson here? Now, Kenny Atkinson's proven to be a very good coach here in Cleveland. So, I mean, you would like to think that he would get the edge on that, but you know how this goes with players and everything.
Oh yeah, it's sad because I believe that Cavs team still had a great run in them. I know their record isn't sterling this time of year, but as we've talked about many times, the
Still the
last five
second half of the
years,
season still, though.
yeah,
You still have
yep,
another half.
and many times on the NBA in the last 5 years has proven that the regular season is not as meaningful as it once was.
Oh, true. Yep.
So the Cavs still have a good run in them. I think you got to be patient. We've said on the show many times that Dallas used to not be patient until they became patient, and that's how they got their title with Dirk. I mean, they became patient. You don't break apart things because you don't win. You still you keep the parts and you tinker. This is a breaking a major part away. The big problem is that Lonzo Ball has not worked out for them the way they hoped. He was supposed to provide some defense. Obviously, he is way past done. They're just not being patient. I know they lost, the great shooter last year from Virginia. He left, but their regular season is still there. Plus, the conference is very down. If there's a year where you can be 5 games over 500 and win the East, this would be
Yep.
it.
Sure is.
And so this seems like we've talked about microwave basketball, but this team doesn't need to play microwave basketball. They've got a good five. They've panicked with a little bit with DeAndre Hunter as well, losing good players. This isn't always. I know it's crazy, but you have to be able to have foresight when you look at a team. Believe it or not, you just can't look at wins and losses. You have to see what's in front of you and see
Yep.
the future of wins and losses. And I always think of like Dean Smith when Duke's first title in 1991. They were 28-7, and Dean Smith was the first one to say that team could win a national title. And everybody's thinking, how the hell are they going to do that? Because he saw. But then again, it's Dean Smith's mind. You could see what teams can win a title. You know the ones who can't, and you know the ones who can. And this Cleveland team could definitely get to the NBA Finals. There's no doubt about it. But now they'll still have a shot too because the East is down. But look what you gave up. And I just don't think James is the guy. I'll be rooting for him because of Kenny Atkinson. But at the same time, I just don't like the brand of basketball. And Kenny's a team guy. And now he's going to have to deal with a really selfish player.
Yeah. The thing is, you gave him a guy who's 27 who averages 19 and 7. That's hard to give up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just the funny thing is I thought of you when I saw this trade because one of our early shows you were talking about this Cleveland Cavalier team. You're like, you just got to let this thing marinate and have to let it
Yeah,
build. And now you've just completely undone what you were afraid kind of what they were going to do. And this is
sure.
it.
Let's
They
be honest. Last year in the playoffs, it wasn't a failure. They had some tough injuries.
exactly.
Garland wasn't healthy, and would you rather be 60 wins and be unhealthy and be out in the second round, or would you rather let this thing get 10 games over 500 and get to the conference finals?
Right.
So, and that's my point. Like, this isn't like the 86 Celtics are in your conference at this time. This thing is right up for grabs right now. Indiana's done. Milwaukee's done.
Boston.
Sure, the Boston is, playing great, and coach has done a great job, one of the best coaching jobs I've ever seen personally. But at the same time, the Knicks are good, but they still their best two players are slow of foot.
Right.
This thing is wide open. Toronto's got a really weird looking team, but a very effective team. Detroit, I think, is obviously the most consistent, but they're still very young. So I mean, this thing is still wide open,
Oh,
and
I think even if they didn't do this trade, they still would have had a great chance, I think.
absolutely. And I'd be rooting for them hard, and I'll still root for them, but I just don't like where the GM's head is to push this to the coach.
Right. Yeah.
And to me, this is just a horrendous push to the coach because what is he supposed to do now?
I think he
No.
had great authority, and now kind of that is a little bit taken away, I think, now with this year.
Yeah, so when, like right
Like,
now, I mean, you can't tell me coach is getting a wink of sleep.
no. Now, how are you going to make and how do you work with this with Donovan Mitchell? How is that going to play out now with
Yeah, it's
is
Donovan's
it
team, and now it's kind of a half a team. But
right?
I still say you have Mobley is just a talent that is just coming into his own. He's definitely one of the most talented players in the league. It's just a matter of time. You might have to tinker a couple of things, just mix up some lineups, but you have time to do that. You probably still have 30 games left. There's plenty of time, and you're in that 4 or 5 spot. And I hate to say it, but in the Eastern Conference this year, I don't think you have to worry about what seeds you get. Yeah, you'd like to avoid the 8 seed, so you don't have to play Detroit, or if we're getting out of the obviously the play-in. But other than that, what would be the worst thing if Cleveland was a 6 or a 2 and or
No,
6 or a 7 and had to play the Knicks first and get rid of them?
no, absolutely not. No.
So for Cavs, they don't need to worry about where they sit. Everybody would say, I don't want to play the Cavs first, but no one's going to say, the Nick Cavs don't have to worry about that with anybody. They're as talented as any team. Sure, they've had a disappointing year, and all the shots that rim in and get you the great 60 wins last year, plus they don't go in this year, and you're going to wind up with a 47 win team. And that's okay.
But you know what the thing is too? There's still 10 games over 500. It's not like there's anything really that alarming going on. They're in a great spot, I think.
Me
Like
too.
even if they didn't make that trade, and Jalen Tyson's really emerged now as a really nice player for them.
Yes, he has, and you just you got to pray to just stay healthy,
Yep.
and it's tough, man. What can you say? I mean, it's just
Adding a
it's
guy like Dennis Schroeder too, I think could help it
sure
as
because
well.
again, Lonzo Ball did not help, so now you can get Schroeder to back up at the point when Garland went out,
Yes.
and Schroeder's good enough to do that. He is a good piece on a good team. So he's a guy that is going to help a championship level team. But at the same time, this Harden thing, I just don't like it. It just sends the wrong message. But
Yeah.
they'll still be alive. They'll be a live team come playoff time.
I mean, they're absolutely going to be must-see TV for the second half of the season going
Yeah,
into
I'm
the
looking forward
playoffs.
to it. I really am. I just wish we give it a chance. I know this is the society we live in today. It's I wanted 10 minutes ago, but that's not how basketball is. That's not how teams are built. Funny, I just watched the new special on the 1980 hockey team on Netflix.
Oh, it was so good. I watched it too. It was
And
so good.
I just finished it. I just finished it before, and it brought me back to how that team was. And as a coach, I've
Yeah.
experienced some games and some teams like that. Not as big as that, obviously, fighting Russia, but you cannot put your finger on what makes the team click. You have to let it be there. I've been there. We've pulled off big upsets myself and some of my teams. You have to let it be there. You can feel it, and once you feel it, you can't mess with it.
I will be optimistic though. James Harden's got to be pretty motivated here. This is a
Oh
great
yeah,
chance for him. I mean, you're in a conference now that's very winnable, and this
yep,
might be your last really great chance. You don't know
yeah.
what happens after this.
Yeah,
So
how old is James now?
he's in his mid-30s now. He's at least 35,
Yeah.
36. So this is it.
So this is it, and maybe there's not as many good clubs in Cleveland. So hopefully, James will behave himself.
Right.
But he's a notorious party boy. So my point is, I just don't like the message it sends to the coach from the GM. This is the thing: everybody wants a team, but no one ever wants to act like a team. So you're a unit, and so your GM and your coach have to be a unit.
Right.
Your coaches and your assistant coaches have to be a unit, and nobody ever does that anymore. Everything is like, let me just do what I want to do. And you can't tell me Kenny Atkinson's asking for James Harden. I don't give a shit if he gives an interview and says he was. He wasn't.
No, this was put on him. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so here's a guy that was part of people running practices behind their coach's back. When this guy had made the Nets relevant with no roster and got them to be relevant again enough where the Nets could make those deals, and then they threw him under the bus. So to me,
Yeah.
I've always been bitter averse the Nets for that, and if Cleveland never does it, I'll be bitter towards them forever too.
It's definitely it's going to be fascinating to see how it works. Like, I mean, you can't. I don't know if you're going to be like you can't have a situation where you're kind of like taking turns with who's got the ball. Is it Mitchell? Is it Harden? So it's going to be really
Yeah,
interesting to see how those two play off each other.
yeah, it's gonna be scary, but a lot of talent, that's for sure. But it's not always about the talent; it's about the fit and a couple of breaks and staying healthy in today's NBA. That's what it's about.
Right. When you have this much of a seismic deal, though, in the middle of the season done, I can't recall one of these situations has worked where you have a guy of this caliber switch to teams like this and you get a championship out of it. You've had
Well,
guys
if you
like
look at yesterday and today's deals, this has purely been reactive social media crap NBA moves. I can't believe some of the moves these teams make. It's almost like they're 10-year-olds who, just had too many Cheerios and Fruit Loops and now have too much sugar in them.
right, right.
Reaction. I mean, this is this,
Knee
this is
jerk, right.
real. And then the Nets waving a good player who's an 18 point a game scorer just so he could become a free agent. Like the league right now has like zero credibility to an average person because we don't get to do that in our lives
Right.
where we just, do over. I mean, have some foresight. No integrity in the league right now with this crap. This trading deadline just shows you how no integrity left, and also how these guys are all just. I mean, people go, how could you get rid of Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis wanted a new contract, and all he's done since he's been in Dallas is be hurt.
Yeah.
Why am I giving you a new contract? Screw you. So, like, they're not going to sign him. That's a great move not to sign him. I know they didn't get a lot back, but at the same time, like, you don't want this guy around Cooper Flag.
Well, we'll shift right over to that, Uncle Dave. So the Mavericks are trading Anthony Davis, Jaden Harden, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Wizards for Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III, two first-round picks, and three second-rounders. So now in Washington, I mean, you have an interesting situation there. You have Trey Young, you have Anthony Davis,
Yep.
D'Angelo Russell. It's just, if you're the Wizards right there, are you just auctioning those guys off at the end of the season, or are you holding on to them and saying, can you have them maybe be motivated and see if you can
No.
maybe have something for next year, or
Well, who's picking the Mavs getting? Washington's or their own?
let's see.
That's the key, I guess, because Washington's going to get a top pick,
You're
and this is
getting you're getting the Suns, the Bulls, and the Rockets.
okay. So Washington's going to still get a top pick because Davis is not going to come back. Trey's sat on purpose, so they're looking at these guys, and they're going to go get DeBoncha, or they're going to get Boozer, or they're going to get the kid from Carolina, they're going to get the kid from Kansas, and you're going to add that to Davis and Trey, and you're going to go for it, and you're going to try to sell tickets, and that'll be exciting for the Wizards. They haven't been that exciting, we have to admit, between us in
Yes.
a long time. If they had those three guys, even though Trey Young has never been a winning player, Anthony Davis can be a winning player. He's shown that. But the bottom line is like you're going to go add one of these guys like DeBoncha or or Wilson. Forget it, man. These players. This is the deepest.
Yeah.
This is the deepest, best group of players draft I've seen in my like. If you're going to go, I've never seen five guys who could be the top pick in
Yeah,
my
they
life.
could be number one. Right. Exactly.
In
Right.
my lifetime, I've never seen that before. And believe me,
Right.
I've been following this a long time,
Yep.
over almost 50 years. And this is ridiculous how deep this group is. There are five different guys that could go number one. And there's probably a European out there that could do it that we don't even know about.
Right. So with this, I think on the Mavericks end of it, you're basically it's a shame because I posted one on one of my social medias of how you didn't get to see Kyrie Irving, Cooper Flag, and Anthony Davis play one game together. So all the
That's true.
photos of them posing together and everything, that's it's
But how
hysterical.
much of this is them watching and going, you know what? This is Cooper's team. The way he's played
Well,
recently
that's the
is
thing. They're
incredible.
they're they're punting on it and saying we're just building around him now. And you see him getting 40 now again, so he's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's he's been amazing. And the worst part of his game is being a scorer. So it's either there's two things that work here. We've always talked about this being the easiest time to score in NBA history. It's obviously true because he's not a scorer and he's getting 40 several times at 19 years old, a new 19, by the way. And you just got to ask yourself, how the hell is this happening?
Right.
So it's really quite amazing thing. But they're probably just saying, hey, this is his team and we don't want any distractions. I would love to see him and Kyrie play together. Maybe that could still happen with Kyrie. We have to see. But at the same time, it's going to be interesting because Cooper is obviously the guy, and you know what, shipping D'Angelo Russell is obviously you don't want him around Cooper Flag either.
Right.
Exum I like, but I'm sure you had to give up something to get something. But what are you going to do? I mean, they didn't get a lot back, but the 2 first-round picks, that could be something.
We even talked about it this first half of the season that they were going to basically be monitoring this situation, be like, hey, did we go for it and try to win as many games as possible, or do we punt and play for the future? And so obviously this move is you're certainly playing for the future. And Jason Kidd, he took some criticism for playing Cooper Flag at point guard. And you see, I don't know if you saw Jason Kidd, one of his
Yeah,
press conferences. He's like, I know what I'm doing. And I think it's a smart move for him to do that, though, in a way, because you get him maybe playing at get a different perspective, having him handle the ball that much. And then next year, you can always take him off the ball, too, if you want to get
sure.
a point guard. Jason Kidd, I think, is the perfect coach for him. So I'm happy
Me
that
too.
he's there for sure.
Me too. I'm
And
happy because Jason was always a pass-first guy, and I think that's
yeah,
what Cooper is at heart.
yep.
And so for me, Cooper being that at heart, I think is a great thing.
It's going to be interesting, really. I mean, the Mavericks are still going to be must-watch TV, even though they're not going to be playing for a championship this year, clearly. But it's still going to be interesting to see them play, just because he's just so dynamic, Cooper Flag. So definitely on the Wizards front, it's interesting as well. I mean, next year they could be very relevant. We'll see what happens with that. The second half of the season. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Trae Young. Is he ever going to play? But I mean, this second half of the season they might be interesting, even though they're well under 500 at 13 and 36. But definitely, when you have names like that on your roster now, all of a sudden you're going to have to your eyeballs are going to gravitate to them. So definitely going to be interesting to see what happens now with the Mavericks and the Wizards. A guy that we're a fan favorite of, a Duke alum, Luke Kennard, got sent to the Lakers for Gabe Vincent. So this is something that Laker fans you can see online and everything. They just feel like they haven't made the proper movement to win a championship. So Luke Kennard going to the Lakers. Interesting to see that happen because I think he will get some good looks and some good minutes there.
Totally.
The
Well,
Lakers are definitely you can just see defensively. We've talked about it before, and
oh.
it's gonna be just very, very rough.
Well, Luke will definitely help them on the offensive end because with LeBron and Luka, you're going to get good shots. And
Absolutely,
Luke
yep.
Kennard is one of the best passers and one of some of the best pivot feet in the NBA as far as passing and shooting. But again, defensively is going to be the challenge. At the same time,
Leads
he's
the
gonna,
NBA in 3-point percentage right now.
well. That's not a shock if you remember Luke. He's so talented and he really sees the floor. He's a cerebral player. He's a better version of what John Shire was. If people don't remember what John Shire was before the eye injury, Luke Kennard is not a point like John Shire could play the point, but Luke Kennard is just really terrifically offensive, talented player. He sees the floor, he shoots it. Like I said, his use of his pivot foot, which is hard to evaluate, but if you go watch him, you'll know what I mean. Very talented player. Defensively, he's got good hands, but he's not obviously a great defender. But will get open looks on that team. They're doing a lot of what the Warriors used to do, where you double down on what you have and you don't fix what you don't have.
That's the thing. You just have to just outscore. That's what you have to do if you're the Lakers. You get Austin Reeves healthy, you just be like, we just have to be an offensive juggernaut, and we just have to hope that you're off that night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. We're going to score 140 and hope that you score 139.
Right. So it'll be fun to watch that for sure. I definitely
Sure. Sure.
Laker games definitely, and Austin Reeves is so talented. They definitely are
Yeah.
missing him. So when he gets back, that'll be
Sure.
really interesting to see. So I don't know if this moves the Uncle David all in the West too, but we got Kristaps Porzingis being traded to the Warriors, and I kind of agree with you, shaking your head. So the Warriors are trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. The Warriors, obviously, when Jimmy Butler went down, I think pretty much that sealed their season's fate. But what do you make of this now with between the
Uh,
Hawks and the
I'm happy for
Warriors?
Kaminga. Very
I
happy
think
for
it's good.
Kaminga.
He'll get a chance to thrive there, I think, for
Because
sure.
now him and Johnson together in Atlanta could do
Yeah,
something.
absolutely.
Porzingis still has value to people because he is 7'4", but at the same time, this does help the Warriors in one respect. They actually have some maybe, so obviously they'll have a person who can block a shot and maybe someone who you can maybe throw the ball to and run your your Laker cuts off of in Porzingis, who is a decent passer. He can definitely trail and shoot the three if he takes the ball out of bounds. Obviously fits that mode of being a post guy who can shoot. They had the kid Post who also did that last year, did a great job for him. But they're obviously very, 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 very talented.
You're just picking at straws here. You're just looking to find anything, but I think they're pretty much done.
Yeah, they're running out of time with Steph, and they're doing the old panic thing. But if you really wanted to get something out of it, you would have played Kaminga. They signed him to a 2-year deal, and I think it's a Steve Kerr thing. It's one of the biggest
That's a failure on
criticism.
his part, not being
It
able
is.
to find,
Why'd you sign him?
work
Why'd
out.
you sign this kid? It's obviously a Steve Kerr thing. This kid can play. Very happy for him going
Well, the
to
Hawks
Atlanta.
definitely
Yeah.
won that, and Buddy Hield, you might have something with him for next season
Yes.
too. So
Yes, and I'm just excited for the kid. I don't love Johnson because of what he did when he was at Duke. I thought he pussied out, but at the same time, like he's had a good start to his NBA career, and I think him and Kaminga together could be something like what Toronto's doing with their wings up in Canada there. And so I like that different look of two real good long wings, and Kaminga's very athletic. Plus now Draymond's involved in making trades. I mean, you don't want a guy that emotional involved in any of this crap.
no,
But if you really wanted to do something, you would have traded Draymond and try to set for next year. But the problem with the Warriors is right now they're going to get stuck in kind of
no man's land, right? Yeah,
in the 7 to 8 land where the Bulls have been forever,
yeah,
and
purgatory.
you're going to get stuck there. But I guess they're trying to do something, and they'll be a live dog also with Porzingis if he's healthy, which is I know he's got that virus that we're not sure what happened with him last year, but if he's a guy that's healthy, we could they'll definitely be a live dog, and I tell you wouldn't want to see them in the 2-7.
Right. Definitely, I think if you get a healthy version of him and he's on his game, it could be interesting. But we'll obviously see. I definitely think that they're on the downside. That's for definitely
Sure,
sure.
no doubt, no doubt.
And then this is a move I think for next season could be very interesting. So the Clippers are trading Zubac to the Pacers, and the Pacers sent Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson and two first round picks, one second round pick to the Clippers for Zubac. On this front, Uncle Dave, I think next year with Tyrese Halliburton healthy and you have then Zubac, I think the Pacers next year are definitely geared up to have a great season next season for sure with that move
Yeah,
right there.
but
'Cause I think
again,
that's one center.
yeah, whose pick is it though? Is it the Pacers pick?
So it's the Clippers are getting the Pacers 1 through 4 and 10 through 30 plus a 2029 unprotected first rounder for him. So
So because
if
we
the
know the Pacers will be picking at the front of the draft here.
yeah, if the Pacers first rounder this year falls outside of 1 through 4, 10 through 30 range, it converts to the Pacers 2031 unprotected first. So and this
This will
move,
be
I mean, my God, they could be really a force next year.
well, but think about the Clippers though. If you're gonna get if you have all right, I still believe in Mathurin. I still believe in him. But the bottom line is, if you have Kawhi just never plays, but you're gonna get a top pick too. Then maybe I mean, look, we just talked about this. The first 5 or 6 guys, it's up for debate.
Right.
Kawhi I'm just worried about him because he's finally starts to play well. The Clippers have been playing the best ball of the year, and they shipped all these guys out. It's very strange. Another GM that
Right.
people always argue with you on these sites. Well, you know more than the GM. Yeah, I do.
But
These
it looks
GMs,
like they figured it out, then they blow it up. I don't
yeah,
understand.
it's very strange. And then they Trey Jones gets traded twice in the same day. It's just nuts. This whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, Indiana, this is obviously if you're in the East and you haven't gotten it done, this is your year to get it done because next year I think the Pacers are going to be roaring.
Yeah,
And
well, then we also have to see. I'm surprised that no one I think really got it on the Giannis deal because he's not healthy. His calf is bothering him, and that's the last couple of years has always led to an Achilles. So I think that's the situation. And again, too many low tops, but I'm not going to say it again. But the bottom line is these guys are all in the same boat. I mean, so why are you going to put him out there? Why would you bid for him when he's still under contract in Milwaukee and he's going to get hurt? So it's a real concern, and again, it's a bad look for the NBA. So this guy's can so Milwaukee basically pulls him from the active roster basically and puts him like on a has him out for a couple of weeks. This is just a bad look for the NBA, even though his calf has been bothering him, and Giannis obviously does play. He's not like Leonard obviously, but this is just a bad look for the league right now. And I agree with you. The Pacers with Zubac, that's a great get because he's really better than Miles Turner. So you're replacing him.
right.
I hate giving up Mather, and he's very talented. I love those talented wings who are athletic. But at the same time, with Rick Carlisle there and
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. This is a team that you're right. They'll be right back there. And if they could just get a little bit backcourt depth with some of these people, they'll be fine. And if they can get Pritchard back and not Pritchard, O'Connell back and healthy. If you keep him healthy, right? He's still with the Pacers? Is he
Yep.
not?
Yep, he
Yeah.
is. Yep.
He's had an unhealthy year. If he's healthy, I mean, this is a team that will be right back there.
With Tyrese Halliburton, do you at all feel out playing him this
No,
second half of the season, or do you have
no,
shut down until
no.
next season? Okay.
I'll see you. I'll see you in September at camp.
Right, right. I think
No
that's a
way.
smart move too. Yeah, there's no
No
way.
way. 'Cause what you're gonna do is why at this point you're gonna get a top 4 pick unless
Right.
it like I said with the deal. And I just this draft at the first 5 or 6 picks is so deep that this gives you so much flexibility. You're no longer afraid of the ping pong ball. You just have to get in those top 3 or 4 picks. Now you got to get it right, and there will be one of these five or six guys that is a bust. But I believe, in just watching so much college basketball as I always do, there might even be 8 or 9 really special guys
Right.
in this first
It's a
grouping.
situation, I think, where you're definitely going to take a player. You're not going to look to trade back or trade for a
Yeah, I
player.
mean
I
this.
think whoever is the best available on the board, I'm
Sure,
taking.
yeah, this is not a fear like it was the year Zion came out, where the Knicks got Barrett, and you felt like, oh shit, we got Barrett, we love him, but he's not Zion, we know that. But at the same time, like some of those years, people fear that second or third pick. This is not one of those. This is a group that, I mean, I've never seen. The only one who's different than the rest is really Boozer. Every one of these other guys is 6'8" to 6'10" with a lot of bounce,
Right.
thin frames. Boozer is different. He has, watching him play is just so confusing because you can't find a comparison because he never looks quicker than anybody and goes by everybody. He's stronger than everybody. His use of his feet as a pivot is just
Who
ridiculous.
I compare him to is a recent Duke alumni, Pablo Banchero. I think he's very similar
Yeah,
to that
he
type
is
of
similar to
player.
him. He is similar to him. Paulo, by the way, a bit a little disappointed in his year this year and Orlando's year as a whole. But again,
Yes.
it's early. They could still get hot in this East Coast. This Eastern Conference is down, so they can make a run.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Paulo's a little bit better with the handle, but this guy's a better jump shooter.
Yes.
This guy is deadly from three. I mean, and also his use of his step through without a dribble, with just using his pivot, is ridiculous. He steps through the strangest angles and spots on defenses
Yeah.
because obviously he's seeing lots of late double teams, lots of early double teams. He's seen all kinds of different things, but
He's able to get skinny and split double teams. Yeah.
he has the inappropriate R word for his strength. It is just ridiculous how
When he
strong he
bumps you,
is.
you go back. When he
Yeah,
hits you,
he's
you go back.
he is he is man ready for that regard. I have to be honest. I mean, I'll always root for him because he's a Dookie, but at the same time, I guess the only thing you'd worry about is what position will he be. But then again, we've seen so many guys make a great living being tweeners. Some tweeners
We're
don't
in the
make it,
age with positionless basketball right now
you know.
too.
And so he's a guy that could, he could even play backup five for you while you want to get a different guy on the floor to go with
The
him. So
reason he's going to bring so much value is his father was an NBA player. You got to see that all those years growing
yeah,
up. I mean,
yeah,
that really, he's seasoned already. So you don't
yo,
have to worry
and
about
that's
him.
he is. He's better than I ever could imagine hoping him to be. I watched him a couple of times in high school, but that's such a hard match because he's so much better than everybody else
Right,
who's
right,
taking
right.
time
You
to
can't
get
really
involved.
tell, maybe. Right, right.
He's so good and he's just so strong. And like I said, he fits through the skinniest of cracks. He's like a weed. He finds a way to the sidewalk and he just finds a gap.
We watch
He's
Duke basketball every game. What is incredible about him is he never looks like he's rushed or hurried, ever. He never
well, that
looks like he's
that's
ever in that position where it's
that
like, oh
shows
my
you that
God.
he practices at a fever pitch when he's by himself
Right.
because the game's not too fast
He
for him.
looks like it's like so under control. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, just the calmness of him is incredible.
No, he is ridiculous. I mean, so he's right now. If the season ends today, he's Player of the Year, and I hate to say it's not even close. Does that mean he's the best pro? No, but this
Right.
year, this far, he is the best player this year because Duke was supposed to be a little bit further down from what they were last year, and I don't think they're as good as last year's team, but I think they're better in close games than last year's team because he's a better finisher as a freshman than Cooper Flagg was as a freshman.
Well, the scary thing also, Uncle Dave, too, with the draft positioning in the NBA right now, so you have basically a four-way tie for who would have the best chance at the number one pick. So you have the Nets with 13 wins, the Pacers, the Wizards, the Pelicans all have 13 wins, and Sacramento's got 12. So right there, you have five teams right there that are vying for that number one pick. But like you said,
Unbelievable.
there's about three or four guys that are like you almost could say in other years they would have been the consensus number one. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with these balls.
Peterson, Debancha, Boozer, Wilson. I mean, good
Yeah.
God, this is just insane. I have to tell you, I mean,
The
yeah,
draft workouts are going to be everything for those
the
teams, I
point
think.
guard from NC State is special. He's hiding a little bit under the radar. He's very special. It's just a really, really, really talented group of players out there. And like I said, Peterson is, oh my goodness, he's tough. AJ is really good. Boozer is different than the other guys because of his physicality and strength. And the point guard from NC State, just keep your eye on him. He's a special player too, and The kid Pierre from SMU had about 40 scouts in the gym watching him the other night. He's very talented too. So it's a lot of. I mean, there was so much talent on that NC State SMU game the other night. I felt like I was just being entertained. There was so much talent on the floor for both teams. It was just a pleasure to watch. I didn't get the result we wanted, but at the same time, like you just could the talent. Just sometimes you just sit there and you're just like, it's just a pleasure to watch how much talent was on the floor in this game, and they both played a live. They both play a live and free style. So as a basketball fan, you just really appreciate that. So there's a lot of talent out there in this first round of the NBA draft. It is going to be. It is going to be. I mean, that's going to be one or two of them that fail. I'm sure. Whatever we consider failure, but we have to figure out who that's going to be.
We'll go, Uncle Dave, to one last move that I want to talk about with the Pelicans trading Jose Alvarado to the Knicks. Do you think this gives the Knicks any more depth? Do you think maybe an extra spark plug? I think he's a nice glue guy and a defender, so I think for the Knicks it's not a bad move.
Yeah, I love Alvarado. He can back up Brunson, but Kolek has done a solid job with that.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a strange move for Tyler Kolek, but I know you can't worry about his feelings. I will say he is going to be a defensive specialist when Jalen is not playing defense.
Right.
Tyler is not a great defender either. This guy will definitely change that. I'm thinking they're looking at putting both of them on the floor once in a while together and putting Alvarado at the tougher matchup between the one and the two. So this could give Jalen a little bit. If I was the Knicks, I would definitely from now forward take down Jalen's minutes a little bit. I know he's had a great game last night in the end of a back-to-back with the Nugs. At the same time, I'd take him down to about 35 right now and get him ready for this run because it's time to do it. There's so much urge, there's so much pressure to win the East this year for all these teams
Oh yeah.
because
It's
everybody sees what's coming. But at the same time, I haven't seen pressure like this for every team to hurry up since the Bulls and Michael Jordan retired.
right,
Uh,
right,
in '94, the whole NBA was like, "Hurry up, Mike's out."
right, right. This is our
So the
chance, right?
Rockets, the Rockets that year got off, I think, a 15-0 start. They came into the Garden early that year when Mike retired. It was the fall of '93 when they came in the '94 finals season, and there was a lot of pressure to win. You were only a baby, so you don't remember that, but that was a lot of pressure. I haven't seen that kind of pressure since then to hurry up and win because people sensed the gap. And in '95, Mike was still out, and then when he came back, everybody went, "Oh shit!" and they all started looking around.
Right.
And then after that, nobody got one for a while.
Yeah. Took 4 years later after that. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh shit!" It's like the oh shit time.
Right. So, Uncle Dave, as the NBA as a whole on the landscape here, what are you seeing and looking at, worried about, or happy about?
I'm just fascinated by the standings, and I'm fascinated by the stories.
The Celtics are absolutely. I mean, you got to
Coach, I'm not a
Coach
fan of his
Mazzulla.
style, but
Got to
he
be
is
Coach of the Year.
the fact that he's 33 and this roster is a joke.
Right.
I swear to God, they set him up to screw it up so he could get a draft pick. And this son of a bitch might be pissing off the GM. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're thinking I could get one of these other fuckers to go with Tatum and Brown, and now you're not getting them.
Right.
This guy's done such a good job. He's almost like hurt them, I think, maybe in their goal.
What do you think of the Vucevic move, Uncle Dave? Do you like that for the Celtics there?
I do because he could fit what they have and what they need. And they're doubling down also,
Yeah.
getting a little bit more of what you have. But this team, that roster was a disgrace. I
Right.
mean, really. I mean, they're 33 and 18. Now, I know we talk about NBA lack of things, and so right now you have Brown, who's a hungry guy, and a bunch of guys who
Yeah.
are unproven and never
Derek
playing
White
hard
and
every night.
Peyton Pritchard, you're 33 and 18 with that? It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and they're, but look at the guys you have. You got Brown and White who are tough guys, and Pritchard. You have three guys who always think they got to prove themselves,
Nehemiah
and this
Skata.
guy's plugged into that. They're 33 and 18.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this Sixers and Thunder move is very curious to me. The Sixers buried McCain a couple of weeks ago with a
Yeah.
G League
Yeah.
when he was producing. There's obviously an issue there
Yeah.
because they tried to bury his ass, and the Thunder were like, "We want him." So
Right.
something's going on with the Thunder. Maybe
Well,
Lou
that's the
Dort's
other move we forgot about. I mean, the Thunder with him now, right?
Lou
Unbelievable.
Dort must not be hitting the jump shot because this kid
Yeah.
is one of the best five shooters in the NBA, flat out.
Yeah.
So when they get a hold of that, I mean, SGA kicking to him is going to be,
Very right.
or Chet or Williams kicking to this guy. This is going to be, unless one of their guys is injured, maybe one of their studs is injured. Those one of those backup guys, and they're just going to plug this kid in there. I don't know.
It
Maybe
had
they're
to be a
hiding.
locker room issue because there's no
Yeah,
way with Maxey
you-
Edgecombe. I thought with him he would have a three-headed monster here. I don't
exactly.
understand
That's
what's
the
going on
old thing
there.
you want. You want those three guards. But the East is very fascinating right now and going to be more interesting than it gets credit for. I'm very excited to see what the Pistons do. They're going to have to face death early on and get through it. And if they get through it, they could go a long way. And if they don't, people will be bitching about them. The Sixers, Embiid's been starting to play better, so that's a curious thing to watch. But that's going to be fun to watch. How the Sixers, they're in that 4-5 matchup with the Cavs right now. That's just ridiculous. The Raptors, I think, have hit a little snag here. I love the Raptors though because that's a strange team in that front court. I thought they should have went out and got Alvarado. I think they could have really used him.
Yeah.
The Miami Heat, I think, is a fascinating team. Also, I'm surprised they didn't really get in these Giannis sweepstakes. I thought Pat Riley would figure it out. Orlando has been disappointing. The Hawks and the Bulls are 9-10, but here's my team. Charlotte's going to get in that play-in.
They've won seven. They've won 7 games in a row. I mean,
Yeah,
unbelievable what they've been
yeah.
doing.
But you know what? Again, it's Brandon Miller. If you were paying attention, Brandon Miller is the guy that's changed that team now because we know Khan's been good.
Right.
Khan Knappel is going to work at it. Brandon Miller has been the difference on that team recently. Brandon Miller, the guy who got in trouble at Alabama and who didn't have a great rookie year and who everybody's kind of cast out and forgot about.
You
There's so
can't do
much
that.
talent. There's so much talent in the NBA that guys who don't get it done right away, we forget about. Look
Yeah.
at this kid.
Let
So
it
if you look at
marinate.
Brandon
Yep.
Miller, he's having a hell of a year right now, and all of a sudden you get this 6'9", really talented, as talented as anybody in the league. They won 7 in a row, and they're a game behind the Bulls, and they're going to pass the Bulls because the
If
Bulls
you're
is
a Hornets fan, you're definitely excited for the
yeah,
second half of the year. You might be able to sneak into the playoffs here.
yeah, because these guys, you got 31 games left, and these guys are they're hot, and Con Knippel's exciting. I mean, and nobody plays defense in the NBA, so what are you worried about him for? The Bucks are fading fast. We know what's going to happen there, and the Wizards are sitting in the paces. So Charlotte just catches the Bulls or the
How about the
Hawks.
Hornets, local Dave? The over/under, they've already passed that now.
We talked about this. I was one. Remember the three teams we wanted to watch before the over/unders. We wanted to see what the Raptors did, the Hornets did, and the Jazz did. Now, obviously, the Jazz are hit the skids pretty badly here, even though they have Markkanen and they have talented players like Bailey Markkanen and Filipowski. Obviously,
They're more
they got
competitive than what I thought they would be, though.
yeah they shipped out Clayton, I believe. Did they not?
Yes, Walter Clayton, they did. Yeah.
Surprised about that. I would, but they're obviously more of a live dog than we think. The bad news is the Mavericks have fallen on hard times here. They were right in it for a while, and now they lost 5 straight, so they've dipped out of it. They're not going to get in there 3.5 behind Portland. I mean, the Jailblazers will probably finish ahead of them, but the Mavs right now don't care. I think they're playing for a pick. Bad news is they figure if we leave Cooper out there by himself, which he really is, Gabbard's back. Obviously, the stud from Duke is the big guy. Is he's
Lively.
still out. He's out for the year. So I think the Mavs are just being cautious here, hoping that they could fall off here. But problem is you might see a mysterious injury with Cooper Flag. Problem is I don't know if Cooper's going to buy that. So
Yeah.
it's going to
Especially
be
his rookie
difficult.
year. You got to let him play the season out.
So
There's
this
no
kid's this
sitting on
kid's this
that.
kid's going off, but they've stripped enough around him, and Clay's not Clay right now. They've stripped enough around him, and between him and Gabbard, and I tell you what, the kid playing the point for them has done a good job. But the other kid who's playing the point for them, besides Cooper, has done a good job. So they found a little diamond in the rough there, and
Brandon Williams?
yeah, he's done a good
Yeah.
job. But Cooper's been a freak. The T Wolves, I don't understand what the hell they're doing. I just don't know. At least they got rid of Mike Conley, who they only played 22 minutes a night when they don't have a point guard. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Phoenix has been pleasantly good. I keep waiting for them to get out of that play-in situation there. I just can't believe that nobody went out and got DeMar DeRozan out of Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah. Him or
I mean,
Zach
there must be
LaVine,
a
right?
problem there. There must
Yeah.
be a problem there. You can't tell me that the freaking T Wolves, who can't score if they're in the gym by themselves,
That would have been a great
can't
move,
use them.
right?
And you got to ask yourself, how healthy is Aaron Gordon for the Nugs? And if they must know that he's going to be healthy because they didn't really go out and add much,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if you were nervous about it, you'd have to wonder. I mean,
I think there's
the
enough
Rock,
there for the Nuggets to win, though. I think there
yeah,
is.
there is. But if Aaron Gordon's got to be healthier, I don't think they're going to
Right.
win.
Right.
But I think the Spurs are a little bit of a paper tiger at the 2 right now. I don't respect that. I know that they're defensively, he changes everything, the big fella. But at the same time, I don't know. I just don't see them as the second best team in the West. I know they've earned that record. The Thunder, though, making that McCain move, and you got to ask yourself with that GM if he
Oh
saw
man,
something.
yeah.
If he saw something,
I think that's gonna be a slam dunk. That move right there.
yeah, I think it's this kid could really shoot it. I mean, if you've ever seen him play, he is just. I don't
Yeah.
even know if he has a position. He's kind of like Vinnie Johnson was for the
I don't
older
care if he
people.
gets his body squared, he can knock down a J. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
Vinnie Johnson needs to call the microwave because he could just go off for 7 in a row. This kid could hit 7 in a row from 25 feet or out. He doesn't care. He's just going to bang it. He might even touch the net once. He's just that good a shooter. And so, he's a little flaky. So something must have happened because they had this guy in the G League like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know
So,
what's going on with the 76ers there. You never really got an answer as to why they did
no,
that. I don't know.
no. And so something's up there. We'll find it out later on in a book one day or somewhere else or some late report. But, the Sixers, I don't know. They're a
With
strange team right
Edgecombe
now.
and Maxey, I mean that right there. If you could just get Embiid to give you anything, they're going to be a fun watch for sure.
Oh, yeah. And Paul George, I mean,
Yeah,
God knows.
getting suspended for PEDs. Yeah, I don't know what it must have been something.
Jeez,
Some
he's probably trying to get healthier. He was probably trying to get healthy, and he
Yeah,
probably
exactly. Right. Yep.
probably took a steroid. And and I actually give Paul George credit for once for trying to get back. Maybe it was probably something for his health. He
Well,
probably wasn't.
again, this is a team where it's now or never, right? I mean, you have a pretty
Yeah,
decent, wide open East here, and you have a good team that you're on right now. So
yeah,
this might be your it for you. It might be your swan
yeah.
song.
I mean, this is a team that has a great young backcourt, though. And if I'm them, in the
If you're the
offseason,
76ers, you're thinking, why not us? Why can't we win the East
right?
this
And
year?
and like I said, in the East is so wide open because no one respects the Pistons. But I'd like to point out that the Pistons are a really good team. They're just not an exciting social
Right.
media team.
Right. Exactly.
Cade
Yeah.
Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is a great all around player, but he's not the guy who everybody has 8 million followers to. He's
Yeah.
just not.
They're number one in the East, so there's like zero acknowledgement or buzz about them. Everybody's talking about either the Knicks or they're talking
Right.
about now what's going on with 76ers drama there, but it's like, yeah, the Pistons are like an afterthought.
Well, don't forget what this will produce in the East is overreaction to the teams that don't get it done when it's available.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is that so everybody's going to put pressure on it, not realizing that the Celtics, even though they're third, still are a very faulted team. The Cavaliers, obviously, I think are a lot more talented than the Celtics. We know that. The Sixers obviously have some issues. The Raptors, but any one of these teams that doesn't capitalize on what's this perception of we can get in there because nobody's that good, there'll be an overreaction when they're eliminated. But like I said, I was really surprised that the Heat did not get in on this Giannis sweepstakes. But
Yeah,
then again,
they were one of the teams that were keep coming up that they were gonna
I guess they
perhaps.
don't have enough right now. But if you
Yeah.
would have had him and Adebayo together with Hero, I
Oh
think
yeah,
they could have.
that would have been crazy, right?
I
Yeah.
think they could have done it because Adebayo has proven that he has really
He's an
improved his
excellent
perimeter
player. Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He is an excellent ball. He can handle the ball very well. I mean, this is a team that I
I
don't
mean, you
know.
could argue besides Jokic, he's the next best center in the NBA.
Definitely, he definitely is. He is a stud. He's so underrated as a player. Reminds me of Chris Bosh a little bit. A little bit better body, but just so versatile. Could give you so many things.
If you combine Chris Bosh and Dwight Howard, you get
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, yeah, sure. I mean, Chris Bosh. I mean, one of the most underrated players of all time. It's a shame how his career ended.
with the Blake.
But
Yeah.
just so unfortunate, so totally unfair. Hall of Famer for sure in my book, but
I
I
can't
don't know.
wait to see McCain on the Thunder though, because the Thunder kind of have cooled off. They started out the
Yeah,
season
of course.
hot. You knew that was going to happen, right?
They must perceive that they need outside shooting, and obviously
Exactly. Exactly.
there's a GM you trust, and I'm telling you right now, if you kick it to this kid, it's cash.
This is
It's dangerous.
this is a guy. If you give him 10 good looks, he might bang 7, 8 of them. You know.
Yeah, and you know what? He's flaky enough where he don't give a shit if he misses the
Right.
first beat either.
Right. Right.
He's just gonna play. He just plays, man. This kid, if you didn't get a good look at him last year, if you look at his rookie numbers before he gets hurt, he's just starting to percolate, and then he gets hurt, and then he starts out this year hurt again. But this kid is talented as hell. I mean, like I said, he's a weird player because he's kind of like a Vinny Johnson. He's not a typical point guard. He's
There had to be something going on in that locker room, Uncle Dave.
absolutely him and Edgecombe maybe didn't
There's
get along,
got
or
to be
Max
something going because there's no way, like you said, if you have 3 good guards, you find a way to make that work. You don't just say, "Hey, we're breaking
not
off."
not only that, in today's NBA you could do that. Edgecombe's a good enough athlete where you could maybe play him at the three.
Right. Right.
So the bottom line is with no NBA defense these days and there's not a lot of size out there in the post. I mean, you could cover up some of those lack of things on the boards, but obviously there's something going on there when the guy was in the G League and the freaking Thunder just swept him up.
Right.
totally insane. It's just an amazing situation where
It
it's
is.
talent
I
everywhere.
saw that. My jaw dropped. I was like, wow, this is
Yeah.
a really talented young player here. And it
Well,
just
again, we have ADD in the country today as far as athletes go because there's so much stuff on social media. There's so much talent out there. Doesn't mean they're great players, but there's so much talent on the floor in these games. A kid like McCain was already forgotten,
right,
just
exactly.
just like
Yeah,
a kid like Brandon Miller was forgotten.
right. You just
No
turn
one
the
knows who the
page
hell Brandon
after.
Miller is.
Right, they just have a not a stellar rookie year, and we're already ready to ship him out. It's
Yeah, we don't
incredible.
even know who the hell Brandon Miller is anymore. Brandon
Right,
Miller's
right.
a freaking savage. He's
These guys,
unbelievable.
these guys aren't even 23 yet. We're
Yeah, but like we're just like, oh, we're on to the next guy. Who's the
yeah,
flavor of the month?
that's
I mean,
incredible.
Brandon Miller is just. I mean, good God, people,
Yeah,
turn on the freaking Hornets game. Get a peek. I mean, just ridiculous how talented these people get. He's 6'9".
it's
He's
all
six
about the
nine.
coaching, player development, and let it marinate. Do not give up too
Yeah,
quickly.
like why are we in such a rush? I'm not getting rid of
Yeah,
Brand. I mean, he's a kid that now all of a sudden, like, yeah, we knew Con Canepa was going to give you what he has, but this kid was playing well all of a sudden because oh, that what? Well, go look at Brandon Miller's numbers in the last month.
right.
It's he's there's some other pieces there too. Obviously, they've gotten some post play and things of that nature. But geez, like you can't be shocked by it. Some of these teams, you look at the stats and you can't believe what like how kids could be forgotten. And this kid is, and the Hornets, as we know over the years, have gotten picks notoriously wrong
Right.
in the last several years. But if you look at the talent on this team, I mean, now they get Kobe White, and that's a good pickup. The Bulls,
Absolutely.
gave up a lot there. If they ever get LaMelo Ball healthy, now they add Tyus Jones today. I mean, this is a steal. Uh, this is ridiculous on this team here. They got a kid. You got a kid like Reeves here who's talented too. I mean, Diabate. I mean, there's some talent on this team. Trey Mann is the decent. I mean, there's some players here. I mean, this is going to get stupid in a hurry right here. I mean, this is McNeely's still on the freaking bench. I mean, this is a good team. Brandon Miller's. I'm going to look at his numbers right here, but like this team has got some stuff here. Brandon Miller for the season right now is 20 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah, he's doing very good
I
this
mean,
year.
and I don't hear a soul. And now I'm around high school kids all day.
Right.
I don't hear a
No
soul.
one mentions Brandon Miller ever. Right.
This guy is going off. So he's all right. He's still not shooting that well from 3. Okay, but
That can get better though.
exactly, he is just this week he struggled a little bit from the floor, but he is really playing well and he's boarding now. He's getting 8 boards this week, 8 boards 3 times this week. I mean, it's going to happen.
Plus, you have a guy like Zion James, Uncle Dave, who could really maybe he can maybe get it to another level at some
Oh
point.
yeah, he's already built like a man, and people
Right.
forget that part. He's already body ready. Whenever you go up a level, the biggest 2 questions are defense, which the NBA doesn't play till later, and is your body ready? His body is ready. That's why Con Canepa was so strong through the shoulders that he's been okay.
Right.
It's really fascinating. It's going to be very fascinating down the stretch to see if the Hornets can get in that like play-in game and then have a little fun.
Absolutely. Because you have some
Uh,
depth. You got Trey Mann. You still retained him. So,
that's the team that I'm going to watch in the play-in game. I don't always watch the play-in game a lot,
oh
and
yeah, the Hornets will definitely be a fun watch for
I
sure.
watch it for knowledge. But I used to live down there, and I used to go to that arena, and it's a wonderful franchise, a wonderful logo. It's a
Absolutely.
it's a great building. I love the area. It's North Carolina and it's basketball, so it's good. So it's a good thing.
Absolutely. I think we definitely have something to look forward to in the second half of
Oh,
the season.
NBA playoffs is going to be fascinating. It's going to be like mad scientist stuff because, like again, the one conference everybody thinks, well, we better hurry up. The other conference, you just don't. There's a lot of depth. I still think though that the Lakers can't do it. So I think they're a fake run team. I think San Antonio might be too young. I still think right now it's a 3-team race with Houston.
How about this, Uncle Dave? What's really surprised me this year is the Suns. Phoenix has really
Oh,
exceeded
great season.
expectations. I thought there was no way they'd be 31 and 20 through the first 51 games. I would have thought, hell no.
But you know what? We did talk about making the necessary moves and letting it be Booker's team. And
Right,
now it is his team again.
right.
And so, but if you look at the post, Mark Williams is in there. Okay. You got the rookie from Duke there also, Malawach. I mean, so let's look at Mark Williams. Mark Williams, I always said, was one of the best players, but he's averaging 12 points a game, 8 rebounds a game this year. Now, this is the first season that this guy is really, really, really been totally freaking healthy.
And he's only
Bottom line is,
24.
yeah, I mean, he's the guy that blocks every shot. He is a ridiculous rim protector. He's played 46 games this year, which is excellent for him. He's shooting 66%, which means he's a great lob catcher. He's getting one block a night, which that needs to pick it up a little bit. And he's got great hands. The fact that he's getting a steal a night, this kid was a stud in college, and Malawatch right behind him is like having so everybody was like, well, why would you take Malawatch if you're going to have him? Well, now you got two of those sons of bitches running
Two
around.
skyscrapers, right?
I mean, now you got two guys who can block a shot. Now, I know for people who just, we love watching highlights, but if you can, and here's a kid, he's only played 22 games, but, here's a kid that if you can get a shot blocker, you got to take him. It changes everything. Now, I know in the
I've
NBA
always said
today,
this has been my rule. You can never have too many shooters, and you can never have too many defenders and shot blockers.
right, and it's like in the NFL, you can't have too many offensive linemen and D-backs. You got to have them.
Right.
Because it's just such and Colin Gillespie's played well for them. I mean, Jesus Lord. Grayson Allen, you can say what you want, still a winner. Dylan Brooks, you have to give him credit.
Well, Dylan Brooks, I think, is absolutely like the unsung hero of this season. I
Yeah,
think with him,
he brought some toughness.
he's not only brought that to them, but I could not believe his scoring this season. He's been unbelievable. He's averaging 21 points a game.
Yeah, and then you got a kid like Ryan Dunn, 20 minutes a night. You're getting a steal a game. I mean, 5 rebounds a night. I mean, you get these guys who just work at it and who are hungry and fighting. And this is where the Thunder GM did a great job with this. Sure, he has Chet and SGA and guys like that, but don't forget, SGA wasn't a star right away. Chet, we thought would be. Williams wasn't either, but he's gotten hungry guys, and that's where the Thunder have built.
Right.
So this is the same situation. You can see that if you look at this roster with the Suns, they've gone out and they've made this team of guys who have had some success. Colin Gillespie's had tremendous success.
Yeah, Grayson Allen's a dog too.
Kobe Bryant could come off the bench and shoot the hell out of it. We know he's good from Kentucky. I mean,
Right.
so there's some stuff out here. I mean, like, why not? Oso Ishdaro is a talented kid. I mean, so like you got Grayson Allen's a winner. I don't give a shit what you say about him.
Incredible. They have a
Like,
strong chance to make the playoffs, the Suns. They're
yeah,
probably
and
going to.
they're a 7 seed right now. If they could find a way to get into that 6-3 deal, then it probably used to be playing the Nugs. If they could ever get a deal where they had to play the freaking Spurs, it'd be fun for them because
Right.
they're not supposed to win.
Right. You're playing with house money then at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But then or play the Lakers, maybe get into the 5 and get to face the Fakers, the Hollywood Fakers. But bottom line is that this team has been a fun team, and I give Book credit because the bloom had come off his rose a little bit last several years, but maybe he needs to be the guy. He's averaging 25 a game with 6 assists. That's huge. That means he's changed his game. 6 assists and 25 a game. Oh my goodness! And 4 rebounds for Devin Booker.
He's playing really good this year. Yeah.
He's changed his ways. He's 29. He's pretty much in his prime. I mean, what else do you want from this guy? He's shooting 46%, only 31% from 3, which is a little low for him. But you know what? He's getting things done. He's almost got to steal a game. I mean, you can't beat.
You want to know why that's happened too? He's doing so much more else on the floor now too. So
he's engaged.
Your shooting goes a little bit. Yeah.
And everybody goes, "Oh, his points are down from last year." Yeah, but
You're winning
what?
though. You're winning though. This year they'll make the
Here's the
playoffs.
thing.
Last year with Kevin Durant, you didn't make the playoffs.
Exactly. So last year he averaged 7.1 assists and more points per game. But at the same time, here's the guy who's out there doing other things, helping teammates win. And he got 6.9 assists in 2024, and he averaged 19. He averaged 27 points a game then, but they weren't winning basketball games.
Right.
And now he's setting up his teammates and other guys and getting people involved. So Book has had this is a great year for him. He's his 10th year in the league already.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, time flies.
Crazy. But with the Rockets, Uncle Dave, what do you? I feel like they're waiting in the weeds there a little bit.
The Rockets. I love the Rockets, but you know what? I just am so frustrated that at the deadline, they just don't go take care of the gaping hole in their team.
Point guard.
It pisses me off. Like the guard spot itself.
Yeah.
Now Steven Adams being out is going to hurt. I love Steven Adams, big Steven Adams fan. But at the same time, like Finney Smith, all right, solid player. You should have went and got freaking Holiday. You should have went and got Drew Holiday. God damn it! Like, just go get a freaking guard.
Yeah, right now they have Amen Thompson running the point for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Jesus. Get Drew Holiday. He's made for this crap. Right. He can come in and guard anybody, and he's been here before. Just go pick him up. Jesus, drives you crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nuts.
I think the Rockets again, they're just like they're not really being talked about, but like Sengun is an unbelievable player. This guy,
Well,
I mean,
Şengün and Durant can win you any game
yeah,
because if one guy's cooling off, the other guy's going to get his.
right, yeah. Sengun is like almost I'm not going to even say a poor man's Jokic because I think that might be underestimating him, but
Yeah,
he's
he's
very good
such
though.
a good player. Very good player. Very ugly player as far as like when you watch him play, it's uh it's off balance.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of elbows flying. Yep,
yeah, it's everywhere. It's kind of like he's a poor man's Kevin McHale going back to the day where McHale looked awkward, but he just faked you out of your socks. And Şengün's got great use of his feet as well.
Raja.
So yeah, exactly. Guy who could just totally get you off balance and finish through contact, and a better player than anybody ever thought.
We'll transition Uncle Dave to our college basketball here.
Oh yeah, college
And,
has been great. It's been so much fun
yeah,
this year.
got Rick Pitino getting his 900th win. You've had some pretty good.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
also have had Rick Barnes joke about maybe his players are betting on games and throwing the ball away at the end of the game.
You know what? You can't say he's wrong because in October that
I
article
know
came out.
he said it tongue in cheek, but like it's
No, he's right. With 26, we had 26 mid level players get nailed in that scandal. That came out in the fall that everybody just buried.
right.
But it's tough. I mean, it's we've opened this can of worms, and here we are.
It's unbelievable with that. I will say this: you have Arizona undefeated at number one here. I think they're
Yes,
obviously you got to say the toast of the town for sure.
them and Michigan. I still think if all the teams are at their best, Michigan is the best. But as we know, they all don't play their best. I think if you had them in fantasy land and they all played their best, I think Michigan is the best. But I think that Arizona is a little more consistent, but I think Michigan's upside is higher than anybody else's. I think we got some paper tigers there. I think UConn is very good, but the Big East is very down this year. I also think that obviously Michigan State is a little bit of a paper tiger. I think Carolina is still highly overrated, even though with their rival game this week with Duke, they can always beat Duke. I think Duke is just executed perfectly. I don't think they're as talented as their record, but yet they're better at winning close games than the Duke team last year, who never had a close game.
Right.
Obviously, I think the Kansas Jayhawks are starting to come around. If they can get Peterson to play healthy every night, they're going to be tough. BYU is interesting. BYU can outscore you on your way to the title, but can you do that for 6 games? I'm not sure. The St. Louis Billikens quietly, basically hanging out at number 19 in the country, 22-1, one of those under the radar teams. Duke could definitely do it. Clemson overachieving. Brad Brownell's done an amazing job. The
Yeah,
Virginia
they're having a hell of a
Cavaliers.
year. My God, they're second in the
Cavaliers
East.
are really dangerous. Cavaliers have 2 pros on their team from Europe, as they call freshmen. Here's the sleeper team. NC State Wolfpack has 4 kids that can go get a bucket anytime they want. And their point guard is the other night had 16 assists and 0
Yeah,
turnovers.
he's a pro.
Now, I've been watching ACC a long time. I
That's
don't remember
incredible.
16 and 0. He's a pro. He's the one of those guys I'm telling you about. His body language is a little goofy, so I don't know what the story is. He's got a little "woe always me" look on his face, but this kid is talented as hell. Uh, Wolfpack are very good. I think they're a team on the come. I think the Hurricanes, they're on the bubble right now, but they're dangerous. The Tar Heels have great size and stuff, but their guards stink. Louisville just got their best freshman back, this kid Brown. His body language is also a little suspect. He's a freshman, very talented kid. He can get you 35 or he can get you 6. But now Louisville's going to. I'm going to see them next week when I'm out at SMU visiting Gordon. I'm going to be Louisville's coming to town, so that'll be fun. Uh, SMU is loaded with a couple of pros. They got Jermaine O'Neal's son, who's probably not ready yet for the pros. They got the kid Pierre, got Boopy Miller. They got the kid Edwards who leads the country in steals, so they're very talented. The Virginia Tech team is dangerous. If they make the NCAA tournament, there's a run in there. I'm telling you right now. Rest of the ACC is not going to hurt us. The other thing is Iowa State cooled off a little bit. They're a very dangerous team. Obviously, there's so much talent out there. St. John's could be a second weekend team. It all depends on the matchup. Villanova, right back where they were before. It's good to see Villanova back. Seton Hall's hit the skids a little bit here, have come back to reality and
Yeah,
played
they've
themselves.
really cooled off. Yeah.
Yeah, they played themselves out of the tournament. Creighton has been very disappointing, as well as Butler. Butler I saw early and very talented, very tough team. Very surprised with Thad Matta that Butler right now is at 4-8 in the Big East, which is it's a very bad Big East.
Yeah.
I will say two things though. Georgetown has risen; they've won 4 in a row. And the other thing is, and we've talked about this for the whole year and 1 month of our show here, DePaul is finally making its way back.
Yeah, they finally are looking pretty decent. Yeah.
Coach Holman is getting it done. They're 4-8 in the Big East. Now they've lost their last three. I get it, but this team is a lot better than they were. And Coach is going to get fired at Providence. I'm sorry to say he's an alum, but I don't think Coach English is going to survive.
Such a tough place to win, Uncle Dave, Providence.
It is, and that's why if I was Ed Cooley, I never would have left because he was doing it. And then we go down to Portland looks like they're in good shape in the Big Sky. Winthrop is always my old
Yeah, they're
stomping
number one
grounds.
right now. Yeah.
In the Big Ten, Illinois is a live team. They could definitely make a Final Four run.
Uncle Dave,
Nebraska,
that Illinois Purdue game, like,
unbelievable.
oh my God, that was one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah, the Big Ten right now hasn't had a national champ since 1999. This is a good chance.
Wow.
Nebraska is good. Purdue is good enough. Iowa is dangerous as hell with that coach. And Stieretz back there, very, very, very good basketball in there. There's a bunch of good teams in the Big Ten. Really, one surprise though, I've never seen Oregon be this down
Yeah,
before.
this is I've never
Dana Altman has been the
that.
best coach they've ever had. The Big West, the Anteaters from Cal Irvine, nothing new there. The Colonial Stony Brook has made a great run to 6-4 right now. Hofstra has cooled off to 5-5. Good to see the Seawolves beat Hofstra as a former Seawolf myself. So that's always exciting to watch them slap them. The Ivy League, obviously, Harvard and Yale fighting for first. Good to see Dartmouth in the mix for a change.
I tell you what, Uncle Dave, I love watching Ivy League basketball. I
Oh,
love.
me too. And Mary Mack, my man. Mary Mack, great coach, plays the weirdest zone you've ever seen. They're 10-2. They're in the first in the MAC, which
Yeah,
is
they
one of the
play like a
best.
3-2, Uncle Dave, at half court.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
they also do is it's almost like a 4-1 zone, which
yeah,
me and your old confidant Joe Mentesta used to talk about. You can do a 4-1 zone if you have some slides.
right.
But at the same time, it's very, very interesting basketball in that conference. The MAC is one of the most underrated conferences in the country. Utah State and obviously San Diego State, two consistent programs off to great starts. In the Northeast here locally, LIU is 8-1 and in first place. Happy to see that. Very excited about that. Good to see LIU get in there. Obviously, the Patriot League has seen a change at the top. Colgate is not in first right now for the first time in like 8 years. It's Navy taking over. The SEC not as strong this year. Texas A&M is legit. Florida's getting hot. Kentucky is off the sharp objects line for coach. He's played himself out of trouble. Arkansas is very good. Vanderbilt came back to the pack, and Tennessee is getting warmed up. Tennessee is on the rise. Be careful there. Alabama is in a little bit of trouble, and again, they're just playing math basketball, and I think that that's hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, that's feast or famine with them, right?
Missouri and Auburn, it's a weird situation. The Longhorns are coming around. Georgia was hot. Now they've lost 3 in a row. Again, these leagues are eating their own. LSU, South Carolina, Oklahoma have not worked out. Obviously, it's just not happening there. So it's been really great. The big key is going to be what do you do with Miami of Ohio, who's still undefeated?
Undefeated. Yeah, how about
What
that?
do you do with them? This is the age old thing. If they're undefeated at tournament time, I don't want to hear any insults. This is a team that's undefeated. If anybody's ever coached a second in their life,
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to go undefeated. I don't give a crap
yeah, we don't
who
care. It's the Mid
team you
American
play.
Conference, right?
Yeah, I don't care. They're 11-0 in the conference, 23-0. Those leagues on the road are nuts.
Brutal,
You
brutal.
walk into Akron and try to win a basketball game, and you let me know. Let me know last time a major went to Akron and said, "Yeah, let me try that." They don't go there. There's a reason they don't go there.
Right,
All
where
right.
it's 5 degrees outside.
Yeah, Western Michigan is 2-8, but you don't want to go to Western Michigan and play basketball. Over the years, they've been some of the toughest games. Buffalo is good. I mean, so Ball State is tough. I mean, these gyms, I've been to some of these gyms. These are rough environments.
Yeah, it's like
Bowling
almost
Green,
like a rowdy high school gym kind of
it
atmosphere.
is. Yeah, and so
Right
Miami
on
of
top of
Ohio,
you.
who's
You can
who's
hear
only been
everything the
known
fans are calling you.
exactly, and Miami of Ohio has been only known for Wally Serbiak, but bottom line is this is a great story. Uh, very excited about this. Very excited for Miami of Ohio, and I don't want to hear a bad seed here either. This is bullshit. If this team runs the table or if they lose one game in a conference tournament, they better get in this tournament. This is wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they're ranked right now. They have to be.
They're ranked 23rd, but they should be higher than 23rd. So here's the thing. This should be a two-bid league if they lose. All right, Akron has been good for ages. So and so is Kent State. So this league is just tearing it up. This is the league that UMass left the Atlantic 10 for. So obviously this is a good league. They left the Atlantic 10, which has had some really big seasons over the years. So this is great stuff. So this is a team that we got to keep an eye on here. I know they're not getting a lot of TV, but if you get a chance to watch them, as we see that Michigan beat the crap out of Penn State,
Oh, yeah, we saw that coming.
Penn State and Notre Dame look like they're going to be out of some jobs here. Sad to say, because the Penn State guy is a former LVC alum there. He's a great player, did a great job at VCU, but he took a tough job at Penn State, and they're going through it right now. You lose them by 41, and it's just tough. And Michigan is so talented.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're a team that could win the whole thing this year.
And they're so big. Michigan is probably one of the tallest college teams I've ever seen in my life. So this is going to be
Yeah,
this is going to be
they're like the Rockets of college basketball.
yeah. They're just the front line is enormous. It's going to be exciting to watch. I'm really looking forward to this going down the stretch.
And last year you had Golden and Wolf on that front line.
Yes, and now Coach always gets good big guys. He develops good big guys. Wolf is having a nice little NBA start
He
to his
is
life here. So I mean, here we are. This guy's has a way with the big guys, and obviously it's working out for him.
unbelievable.
A lot of good college hoop out there right now. So for example, tonight college has changed a little bit. This year they've had nights now during the week where there really are no big games. So the only ranked team playing tonight was Michigan, which is unusual for
Yep.
Thursday. But college this year has tried this new formula of playing most of the smaller conferences on the same nights, and not all, most of the big guys on other nights. And you've seen that. And so tomorrow night they'll sprinkle in some really good games. Of course, we got Duke Carolina this weekend, which is
Yeah,
never always delivers. But you got some good basketball out there. You got obviously UConn St. John's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock is must see TV. Definitely check out VCU and Dayton will be a very good basketball game as well. Saturday is just Shangri-La of college basketball every Saturday. It starts off at noon with Nebraska and Rutgers and Syracuse and Virginia, which is a good game. Arkansas, Mississippi State at noon. Louisville and Wake Forest. Wake, unfortunately, is going to lose their whole staff this year. You can see it coming. Temple and East Carolina, and the noon lineup. Villanova, Georgetown is now a decent game because Georgetown's gotten back into the mix. And you want to watch Virginia Tech, NC State. Virginia Tech coach runs the best offense for shooters. He's got a rookie 6'8" point guard. Well, he's played in Greece for a couple of years. They call him a freshman, but the kid is a stud. He's a pro. And they run such great stuff. They got the kid Shut, who can really shoot it as well. They got a couple of men inside. They're going to be tough. And NC State, like I told you before, if you haven't watched them, go watch. There's 4 guys who can get a bucket, and that's dangerous come tournament time.
Absolutely.
So they get in there. I don't give a crap what their seed is. It's going to be game on. It's going to be a problem for somebody.
What do you
going to be
make
a
of
problem.
Uncle Dave's Syracuse right now? The Syracuse Orange.
Oh, the Syracuse Orange. Well, we talked about this last year. Red Autry is a great old Syracuse player, loyal assistant. But what's happened to him is last year they said, well, we're not spending money, and they were going to fire him last year. And they've hit the skids here. They're basically, they're now 4-6 in the ACC, and they're well
Yeah,
off the bubble. They're well off
that's
the
not
bubble now.
acceptable at Syracuse.
No, it's not. And the bad news is it's not his first year, and they did go out and spend money. I would say this though: they've overrated the talent on that team.
Yes.
Melo's son is very good, but he has no body. His dad was a man already at that age. His
He
son is a
was.
different build,
Right.
very slender. Carmelo was always a thicker body, even though he didn't lift. And they also went out and got the guard from Georgia Tech, who's a stud, and now they're still not winning. And so 4-6 in this league is tough, especially
Not even that bad considering the teams that are ahead
right,
of you. Yeah.
exactly. But the thing is, like, if you look right now, the ACC is got upper class and middle class, and Notre Dame going 2-8. This is not going to happen. Notre Dame's best player has been out all year, but nobody gives a crap about your
Nope.
feelings.
Nope.
Pitt, Jeff Capels, he might be out. Boston College is definitely going to be out. Stanford and Cal are very tough right now when you go on the road to play them. But the Stanford point guard is one of the best guards in the country. Okore, he is a stud. He might be the 10th pick in the draft. That's how good he is. He's ridiculous. He's tiny, but he's built like a brick shithouse. He's an NBA player, especially with the lack of point guards in the NBA right now. I think he's going to do well. Louis, like I said, it's just so much ability out there. But the bad news is that the Cuse has fallen on some hard times here at 4-6,
Yeah,
and they haven't had any quad one wins really, and that's going to hurt them. It's you got to have some quad one wins, and they've had a couple of chances. They went to play Carolina last week, and you're looking at
they lost by 10.
yeah, you're looking at that, and no one thinks about, well, you lost by 10, but let's see where they are in the net. The Cuse, I'm looking at it right here. The Cuse is probably way down here at the bottom. Yeah, you got to be in like the top 35 of the net to yeah, that's 69. That's not going to work. At quad one, what are they? Let's see what the Cuse is at that level there. Quad one, they are 1-5. That's not going to do it. You got to get to like 3-4 there. 13-10 overall. Like I said, they're going to have to find a quad one win. They're going to have to beat a Duke, maybe beat a Duke, and maybe try to beat a Louisville or Virginia, and see if they can get a couple of quad one wins and get off the bubble. Because right now, it really seems like the quad one wins are what get you off the bubble the quickest. So like Virginia Tech is 2-6 in quad one. The good news is Syracuse will have a lot of quad one opportunities, but it's still a rough go.
No question. Definitely looking forward to a good weekend of basketball, though, for both.
Oh God, so much good hoop this weekend. The high school regular season ends here in Suffolk County, and the playoffs are going to be kicking off, and so that's always exciting too. It's just a great time of year because nobody can bug you to do outdoor work as a
Yeah,
husband,
we're,
and
we're we're done with Christmas. We're done with New Year's, and now it's just
now
living in
it's marinade until March.
right. Exactly. It's us wait until defrost until, like you said, March and April. So
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun, and then once the college ends, the NBA is right around the corner. The
yep,
playoffs.
and you get the playoffs and everything too. Plus the tournament
It's
next
but
month.
right now Arizona is number one. Houston's a little overrated, like I said, but I still think everybody gun to their head playing their best, but that's not how it works. But if it did, I think Michigan will be the best team. But we got a lot of teams. I think we got 6 or 7 teams who could win it this year.
Oh yeah, still. Plus you got still 4 more weeks here of this, so you got
Yeah,
to think what the hell's going to
yeah,
go
we
on.
got. And like I said, there's so much talent on some of these teams on the floor. I mean, Louisville's going to come. They're 6-4 right now, but that ain't going to stay that way. SMU's 4-5, but they've already played the toughest schedule in the ACC as far as in the conference, so they're the better half of their schedule is coming. Uh, Obviously, the Hokies I believe in. Carolina I think is a little overrated, but keep your eye on that Wolfpack.
Plus teams that are coached by like a guy like John Calipari, Arkansas. You definitely got to keep your eye on them.
Yeah, well, he'll have him playing defense, and that's the thing. But the
I know
bad
they
news,
lost to Kentucky, which was kind of a weird game at
it
Kentucky.
was a weird game. But you know what's funny?
With the technical fouls and everything.
Yeah, Kentucky's got talent. We talked about that. But at the same time, Arkansas, people can, kill Coach Cal all the time. People do. Arkansas is still 6-3 in the SEC. So,
Unbelievable.
no, some things never change. You can say all you want about Cal and the one and done that he created and stuff like that, but this is a guy who's he doesn't duck anybody. They always play a good schedule, and Arkansas, it's not Kentucky as far as resources go, but at the same time,
Absolutely no. No.
they're willing to go play anybody, and that's Cal. That's who he is. He's always been had a ton of bravado in his life, and he's 26 in the net. He's 4-6 versus quad one teams, so that's good. So he's got 4 wins versus quad one teams, which again you can't beat. You can't beat that. He's 3-0 versus quad two, 3-0 versus quad three, and 6-0 versus quad four. So right there, his only losses are against quad one teams, which shows you how good he is.
Before we wrap up, Uncle Dave, how do you assess Connecticut right now and Dan Hurley?
I love Dan Hurley, and I hate Connecticut. I'm one of the weird people that most fans that think feel the opposite. I think a lot of UConn fans, I see the bitch about Dan Hurley. Anytime you don't want Dan Hurley, hand him over. He is great for basketball. He's real. And, I don't find him arrogant at all. I find him to be just what we needed and just what the assholes who criticize him deserve. So we have people say the rudest crap to him. And when he responds by showing you he's got 2 rings, you find that offensive?
Yeah,
You calling him a piece of shit or a fuckhead or a dick, and he turns around and shows you 2 fingers, you find him offensive? I don't. I find that's how you shut people up.
their games
Uh,
against Seton Hall, Georgetown, Villanova, Providence were all incredible games. Then they
yeah,
lost to Creighton and Xavier. So I mean, they're
and they run great shit. UConn runs the best shit, and I still say, I said this before, I'll say it again. when you watch all the teams play, I still think they're the best coach team.
Tomorrow night, Uncle
Yeah.
Dave, them against St. John's at St.
Yeah.
John's.
Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be
yeah.
fun.
So I have my last game tomorrow night. I'm hoping to be home by then. But your UConn St. John's will be fun. But I just don't know if although St. John's in recent weeks, their best player has been their little point guard there. The kid who started out the year struggling.
Yep.
He's from the West Coast Conference, led the West Coast Conference in scoring last year, and here he is getting it done for them. So all of a sudden, they found that kid with a shot that they've desperately needed. And St. John's is again, they've gotten hot recently because of the league. They're playing all league games now. But St. John's can, they could definitely beat UConn because they'll be up for that game. So,
Absolutely. That'll be
but
a great
St.
time.
John's is solid. People forget St. John's is 3-4 versus the quad one. His non-league schedule was nuts. All right, he lost to a couple of SEC teams. So let's not get crazy here.
Right.
Good SEC teams. So let's not get stupid out here. He's 6-0 versus quad two. He's 4-1 versus quad three. They had that one, slip up. But the bottom line is you're playing a great schedule. Nobody could criticize that. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, they're right now Arizona's the first in the net, and Duke is second, and Michigan's third. But and it's funny, Illinois, even though they have 3 losses, is fourth because Illinois' schedule's been murderous. It's been just insane. 6-3 versus quad one teams is just it's another planet. So like nobody, you don't get 9 wins versus quad one. It's just insane. But that's what they're doing. So got to ask yourself, how are they doing that? Well, you're going out and you're scheduling great people. And Illinois' got some great players. Good team this year. Really, really fun to watch. It's going to be great down the stretch here. But
Them and Purdue. Purdue's must see TV every time they're on. I gotta.
yeah, Purdue's hit a little bit of a snag here, but that's okay. You don't want to be playing your best in middle of January. So like they hit that little bit of a snag, and no coach will admit that out loud, but it's okay. People want to see you getting hot at the right time of year, and I'm just happy to see teams like Navy being back in the mix here. The old David Robinson, 1986 was the last time they were relevant at all, and then Duke beat the crap out of them in the Elite Eight game. Donnie Dawkins dunking on David Robinson, so that was at the Meadowlands. But so it's UConn's sixth in the net, which is good. They're 5-1 versus quad one, so obviously they're very good. They played Arizona early and they lost, I believe, but they're a solid team. I think they could definitely lose to St. John's though.
No question.
It's going to be exciting, and who's back? Gonzaga's peaked right back in there. You look at that.
Mark Few, you can't underestimate them ever.
Last year they were a little down for Gonzaga. And now they're 5-1 versus the quad one here, which means his non-league schedule is nuts, and they're ranked ninth in the net. So here's Gonzaga back at it again. Some things never change, and Kansas is very hot, and Florida is very hot. They're both coming quick, and to everybody else, better to get the hell out of the way.
It's going to be the second half of the season. It's going to be great. And then by the time we get to conference tournament time, it's going to be excellent.
Yeah, there's just some teams that are really on the rise right now. Tennessee had a slow start, but they have a special player. There's just a lot of changes coming. Florida and Tennessee are really hot in the SEC. Kansas in the Big 12 is smoking hot right now. And the ACC, you keep your eye on NC State. I'm telling you, just keep an eye on it.
For sure. We'll wrap up there, Uncle Dave. All right. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you, all you basketball fans out there.
Yes,
There.
peace.